At Sail Cork, we teach both shore-based and practical navigation appropriate for small boats, anything up to say 25 metres. And we often have pilots on our courses. They tend to go for the Yachtmaster shore-based course, because as you can imagine, they do have the concepts of navigation before they start. And that's airline pilots I'm talking about, not the marine pilots, which some of you will be more familiar with. And they're great fun to have in the class, and I've worked with a good few of them on board as they're doing their various practical qualifications. I always find it fascinating, the differences and the similarities between sailing, navigation for sailing and boats, and navigation for aircraft, and it creates a bit of fun. It's interesting for me as an instructor and also for the pilots. And you know, you think back of the technology that was used in the past, it was much more primitive. So we both used radio direction finding long before the days of VHF, and really radio direction finding took off properly during World War II. And of course Ireland was neutral during World War II, but sometimes there was fun and games played, probably not appropriate word, but there was bending of the radio beams by the British to deflect aircraft, and often you would get German aircraft ending up over Ireland, and some of that was crash landing. So if we look around here, I'm at Carnsore Point, and behind me this is known locally as the Heinkel Field, or the aeroplane field. And in 1941, 10th of June 1941, a Heinkel crashed on that field, and what it did, it landed, just skidded along the water, hit, there's a rock there, one big rock there, just there it is, just behind me there, just behind my shoulder here. It hit that rock, bounced, and then came around across this little road here, and crash landed in that field. Unfortunately they were all killed. But there's quite an interesting footnote to that, is there was a mezuzah case, and I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, found amongst the wreckage. And a mezuzah case is contained, it's a Hebrew thing, or a Jewish thing, and it contained a handwritten Hebrew prayer for protection. So it's possibly that one of the airmen was secretly Jewish and died holding this precious object in his hand. So if you come down to Carnsore Point, you can see this panel explaining what happened, with pictures of the Heinkel 111 bomber. So that's our link with aeronautical navigation. Sad story, they're buried here in Ireland.